I'm trying to go an opposite way. I don't want to be walking around cracking people in the head and drive-by on people. That ain't me.
Pimp C has always been his own man. When he make up his mind.
I never knew that Pimp C and Master P had a beef that turned physical. Never knew that. What's the deal, y'all? What's the Trapper typing in? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the deal, y'all? What's the Trapper typing in? TNN Trap News Network. Back in the same, like cracking the same here at TNN Trap News Network. Second news you can use. Good knowledge, though. You're not thinking about college, though, big dog. And we are on Trap Post inside the Pimp C and Master P surprisingly violent beef. Let's get into this conversation and see what's going on. Let's get into it. Let's go.
To do whatever it is he want to do, that's what he gonna do.
Every region has its legends. In the South, fewer, bigger, or more violent than the story of Master P and Pimp C.
Once I found out Mama was cool with what was going on, and I felt like if Pimp was alive, would he speak on it?
Yeah.
I absolutely believe he would.
Two men with visions of dominance colliding in a clash that blurred the lines between music and the streets.
My two friends, I definitely felt I needed to step in. Master P wanted to be respected, and Pimp C wanted to be respected. To get both parties on one accord, where...
What the hell could ever happen in life where Pimp C and Master P get into it? I guess that's what we're going to find out. So let me shut my mouth so we can watch the video.
They go respect. That was the solution.
Hotel rooms turned hostile, phones rang in Houston for deadly favors, and one of rap's most feared CEOs had to step in before blood was spilled.
The dude came to Jay Prince to get permission to kill Chad, right? Damn. And Jay Prince like, no, we got a lot of money on the line. This is my guy, and they gaffled him up.
This was about pride, power, and survival, and it left scars that would follow both men for years to come. Let's talk about it. Clash of business and brotherhood. The South has its own myths, stories that never made the front page but traveled through mixtapes, backstage whispers, and the voices of people who swore they saw it all go down. One of those stories sits at the intersection of Texas and Louisiana, two states with different cultures but the same hunger for respect. It's the story of Pimp C, the fiery half of UGK, and Master P, the mastermind who built No Limit Records into a military-styled empire.
You know, I named my company No Limit because there's going to be no limit to my success. And I named myself Master P because I said I'm going to master whatever I do.
What started as a collaboration turned into one of the most violent and talked about clashes in Southern rap history. The root of it all came down to something deceptively simple: money and respect. By the mid-90s, Pimp C wasn't just a rapper. He was a producer with an ear for sound that carried Texas soul, a musician who could sing hooks, build beats, and give records the kind of bounce that translated from Houston clubs to car stereos across the South.
Outspoken, he could rap, he could sing, he could produce. He was a multi-talented.
Master P, meanwhile, was in the middle of his grind, moving records out the trunk, turning Richmond hustle into New Orleans empire, plotting a takeover of the entire rap game. When their paths crossed, it was supposed to be a win for both. UGK brought credibility, that Texas seal of approval, and Master P brought reach. Their biggest link came in 1996 on the track Break 'Em Off Something from P's Ice Cream Man. It was one of the songs that introduced Master P to a wider Southern audience, a record that turned heads and gave No Limit momentum outside Louisiana. For Pimp C, though, that success was tangled up in business disagreements, royalties, credits, who was owed what. It's the kind of dispute that happens often in music. But in this case, it didn't stay on paper. One of the earliest sparks came over money. After Break 'Em Off Something blew up, questions started swirling about how much Pimp C was actually compensated. People close to him said he felt shorted, that the royalties didn't line up with the weight he carried on the record. To Pimp, this wasn't just about numbers on a check, it was about principle. He had given a beat, a hook, and his presence to a track that helped launch Master P into another level of recognition. To feel like...
So at that point, what is someone owed? Do you feel like they're owed, the entirety of the success? Do you feel like they're owed, just for that moment of what they should actually be compensated? Because at that point, I would imagine contracts have been signed. I imagine that contracts have been, put into place and everybody agreed to it before the work had been done. So if after the fact, when you see how well it does, now you want to kind of up how much you feel like you should be paid, that's not fair. A lot of times I see people do that. It's like, well, I didn't know it was going to do so good. And then now you want to kind of up the fee. But like, nah, nigga, you told me what you told me. You feel me?
wasn't honored the right way was a sting he couldn't ignore. The real turning point, though, didn't happen in the studio. It happened over the phone.
Or Master P could have just full blown did a flu flam and said he was gonna give him one. He said he was gonna give him one and ended up giving him half. You know what I'm saying? Or said he was gonna give him two and ended up giving him one. You know, you never know how it goes.
And it wasn't even Pimp C on the line. It was his mother, Westland Monroe, Mama West to everyone who knew her. She wasn't just family, she was his manager, the one guarding his business and protecting his time. Master P called her one day, pressing for Pimp to come to Baton Rouge for a session. But Pimp already had a job locked in with an independent artist who had paid him the same $10,000 that P was offering. Mama West explained that, for her, business was business. The indie artist's money was just as real. But Master P didn't take no easily. He pushed back, allegedly telling her that the record she was protecting wasn't going to get played, while his was destined to blow. It wasn't just a difference in scheduling, it was a clash in tone, in authority. Mama West wasn't going to fold. She stood her ground, telling P bluntly that he couldn't just dictate terms. According to her, the argument ended sharp, words exchanged that cut deeper than just business talk. Pimp C overheard it, and to him, it wasn't about missed sessions or contracts anymore. It was about family. In his world, you didn't speak down to his mother, especially not over something.
Okay, yeah, now that's where the disrespect could go in, because nigga, you talking to my mama now. Okay, I can see where this beef could become physical, because I get that to you. I get that to you, that's my manager. But to me, nigga, that's my mother. And I'd be damned if you talk to my mama crazy. So, yeah, I can see how I go left.
As small as a scheduling conflict, that kind of disrespect left a mark.
Master P had cussed out C's mom on the phone. So Pimp got on stage that night and he said, limit, and went off.
Even though Master P called back half an hour later to smooth things over, agreeing to record the following day, the damage had already been done. They did the song and the record hit big, but the relationship had shifted. For Pimp C, it was personal now. At shows, Pimp C let the crowd know how he felt. On stage, he told audiences about the disrespect, framing it as Master P cursing his mother out. Whether that detail was accurate or just his interpretation of heated words, it didn't matter to him. The line was crossed, and he wanted everyone to know. Crowds of fans followed his lead, chanting against No Limit, against Master P. It wasn't just one show either. Accounts say he repeated it across multiple cities, building momentum around the feud. What Pimp did wasn't just venting, it was a declaration of war. In hip-hop, especially back then, public humiliation was dangerous. Respect was everything, and when you try to strip it away in front of a crowd, there was going to be a response. For Master P, a man who built his brand on strength and dominance, ignoring it wasn't an option. The rise of No Limit and UGK.
Damn. Yeah, I could definitely see how this beef could go way too far, because again, when disrespect to somebody's mother is taking place, it's not really too much that you could say, you feel me? And granted, he did call back to, make things better after the fact, but nigga, nah, I still need my issue, you feel me? I still need what I need.
And it isn't surprising. Master P's story is one most rappers still point to as the blueprint for independence. He didn't walk into a record label with a demo tape hoping to get discovered. He built his own, brick by brick. Starting in Richmond, California, far from the South that would eventually crown him, he was hustling his records out the trunk. No Limit wasn't a name yet. It was just P selling CDs hand to hand, stacking every dollar he could, and slowly growing a reputation as a man who knew how to move product.
I built No Limit on $10,000. I put up my own posters. I went to every hood. I started taking my van and going from hood to hood, selling my...
Hey, nah, that sounds real, though. Going from hood to hood, selling his CD, making sure that everybody knows exactly who he is and what he's about, for sure.
CDs, that's the whole thing. I started selling that out of the trunk.
By the time he moved his base back home to New Orleans, he wasn't thinking like a rapper anymore. He was thinking like a mogul. He understood that owning your masters, controlling your distribution, and building your team in-house meant freedom. No Limit Records turned into a machine. The brand wasn't subtle. It was loud, aggressive, and everywhere. He had artists like Silk the Shocker, C Murder, Mia X, Mystical, Fiend, and later, Snoop Dogg. The roster looked endless, and so did the music. There was a new No Limit release in stores almost every week. Priority Records gave Master P the national distribution, but the grind was still local, still southern, still grounded in the idea that nobody could outwork him. Meanwhile, 300 miles west, UGK was carving out a completely different lane. Port Arthur was in a city people associated with rap. It was small, industrial, almost quiet compared to Houston or Dallas, but that's where Pimp C and Bun B were putting together something special. Pimp was rapping, producing, composing, and shaping a sound that didn't sound like New York, LA, or even New Orleans. It was Texas soul, thick and bluesy, layered with church organs, heavy funk, and the punch of the Roland 808. He called it country rap tunes.
Man, I'm 16 years old. We doing shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we really wasn't no serious money. I think we get $500 a show.
Bun B was the anchor. His voice had authority, the kind of cadence that made you listen. Pimp C was the wild card, high-pitched, emotional, sometimes confrontational, sometimes smooth enough to croon on a hook. Together, they were balanced. They took their local slang, their stories about southern streets, and turned them into something that didn't need outside validation. This is where the two stories begin to touch. By the mid-90s, No Limit was rising, and Master P was hungry for collaborations that...
Now, I remember definitely in the 90s, Master P had a huge impact in California. Now, I guess that's because he did start in Richmond. I never knew that. I knew he started in the Bay. I thought it was Vallejo. But Richmond makes sense for sure. He's hanging around with E40 and Too Short and all those type of dudes. But it's crazy to see that because I'm not going to say that Pimp C wasn't, a thing, but it wasn't really that big of a thing in my household. But it's interesting to see that these two dudes who could have been two crazy moguls together, how they got along, for the same reasons, seemingly go at each other in this, what's going to be epic blowout.
Would plant his flag deeper into the South. UGK was already respected across Texas and Louisiana. Pimp C's beats had a grit that P liked, and Bun's verse gave weight to any track. They came together on Break 'Em Off Something in 1996, and it ended up being one of Master P's breakout moments. It was a union of two Southern powers, and for a brief moment, it looked like the relationship would be mutually beneficial. But from the beginning, there were differences in how they operated. P thought like a businessman first, an artist second. Every move he made was about leverage, ownership, and expansion. Pimp C, on the other hand, was uncompromising. He cared about the music, the respect, and the principle of things. Money mattered, but not more than his pride, not more than standing on what he believed was right.
Pimp C has always been his own man. When he make up his mind to do whatever it is he want to do, that's what he gonna do.
Dissing in music and shows. So when the tension moved from phone calls and backroom arguments into the music itself, that's when people really started to notice. Pimp C was never the type to keep quiet. He'd turn personal frustrations into coded jabs on records. One minute he'd be talking about fake hustlers, the next he'd slide in a line about somebody trying to control his time and disrespect his family. To outsiders, it sounded like general rap talk. To people close to the situation, it was a shot aimed squarely at Master P.
It's Pimp C, man. Listen, bro, the man is such a character, bro.
So Pimp C was before Jay-Z when it came to the subliminal disses for sure. Way before Drake and Lil Wayne and all them niggas was dropping subliminals. You had Pimp C talking big talk to Master P.
He dissed Master P.
And Master P had his own way of clapping back. He didn't rely on slick wordplay like Pimp C. Instead, No Limit's music started carrying that polished, heavy, almost militarized feel, like a marching band mixed with street hustle. Everything was about the tank, the soldiers, the empire. It wasn't so much subliminal as it was about showing dominance. Master P didn't have to call names. The branding itself, the covers, the chants, the hooks, all sent a message. We're bigger, we're stronger, we can't be touched. Against UGK's raw, dirty Texas sound, it felt like two different Souths were suddenly squaring off. Fans started reading between the lines. In Texas, people would point out verses where Pimp C was clearly talking about Master P. They'd replay the tapes, circle the lines, and say, "That's for No Limit." Meanwhile, in Louisiana, the loyalty was deep. Master P had built himself into more than a rapper. He was the face of New Orleans hustling made good. Every time UGK slipped in a shot, No Limit fans brushed it off as jealousy, as Texas boys not being able to handle the rise of the tank. But it wasn't that simple. By this point, UGK already had a chokehold on the Southern Underground. They had credibility that no amount of flashy branding could buy. Their sound was baked into Texas car culture, into the country rap tune's identity. And Pimp C's subliminals weren't just attacks, they were warnings. He wanted people to know he wasn't anyone's employee, wasn't anyone's soldier. If he had to burn bridges to prove it, so be it. There's a performance from around this period that shows how much the music and the street talk had merged. Before Pimp even rapped a verse, he stopped the show and told the crowd about a dude from Louisiana disrespecting his mama. Then he had thousands of fans chant F Master P in unison.
He was going on stage saying F no limit.
That wasn't a subliminal anymore. It was live on stage with the energy recorded in people's memories. From that night on, every UGK verse that sounded like a diss carried extra weight. And the beef gave people ammo on both sides. Every UGK track with a sharp line became a rallying cry for Texas. Every new No Limit release, stacked with features, videos, and national reach. The music didn't just reflect the beef, it amplified it, spread it, and turned it into a story that every Southern rap fan had to pick a side on. The beef's breaking point. Now that the beef was made very public with a chant, Master P's response didn't come in a song. It came in a hotel room.
He said P had the gloves on and was going to work.
So what it sounds like is Master P took this fuel to just basically boss up his entire brand. Master P was a rapper, yeah, but No Limit as a label pretty much is what he pushed. He put the label, he put the company before himself. Whereas Pimp C as an individual, you know what I'm saying, was kind of pushing Texas and all that, but it was more of a Pimp C thing. Master P, I see what he did. Good win, good strategy.
You know, and it came up in the hotel room on. And that was pretty much how that went.
Pimp C was staying at the Residence Inn in Sugar Land, Texas, while working on Ridin' Dirty. It wasn't his first choice of hotel, but his preferred spot downtown was full. The Sugar Land location just happened to be right in Master P's territory. According to multiple accounts, his mother's, his friends, even Pimp's own retelling. One night the door to his room was forced open. Several masked men rushed in. Among them was Master P. They held Pimp down. P, wearing gloves, went to work with a pistol, striking him across the face and body. It wasn't just a beating, it was meant to send a message, and at the end of it, P allegedly pulled off his mask, looked him in the eye, and made sure Pimp knew exactly who had done it.
He's like, yeah, man, P came in here and beat up on my body.
The aftermath was ugly. Pimp suffered a concussion. Mama West believed he had fractured ribs. He was shaken to his core, not just by the physical damage, but by the way it went down. To him, a fight should be man-to-man, fair. Win or lose, you handle it directly. But being jumped and restrained while another man swung on him, that felt like a violation of every code he lived by.
Man, yeah, that right there, I can see where after that, might want to take things to a whole new level after that one, big dog. Things might become a little bit more than a head of fade. After that, you might owe me a little something else.
My two friends, I
might really have to get that one back in blood like a Pooh Shiesty song.
Definitely felt I needed to step in. Master P wanted to be respected, and Pimp C wanted to be respected. To get both parties on one accord, where the subject of respect, that was the solution.
The timing couldn't have been worse. UGK was in the middle of crafting Ridin' Dirty, the album that would go on to define Southern rap. But after the attack, Pimp couldn't focus. He was hurt, angry, and distracted. Sessions stalled. The album ended up delayed by months. In interviews, his crew later admitted he lost all inspiration for a while. It took time for him to recover enough to even want to get back in the booth. And if the attack was meant to settle the issue, it had the opposite effect. Instead of closing the book, it deepened the resentment. Pimp C felt betrayed, disrespected, and humiliated. The beef was no longer about music, money, or contracts. It was personal, etched in bruises and scars. In the South, quick tempers and bruised pride could turn words into violence fast. That's exactly what happened here. What began as a disagreement over business turned into a cycle of retaliation, threats, and bad blood that could have easily ended in tragedy. Both men were too powerful, too proud, and too stubborn to let it die quietly. Pimp C's downward spiral. By the early
Yeah, it seems like Master P went into this one with a whole better strategy, and it seems like he was able to break Pimp C's spirit. And once your spirit is gone in the fight, you know what I'm saying, that's pretty much it. It's like Pimp C was almost like a wounded dog, and Master P just kept kicking him while he was down.
2000s, the weight of everything was catching up to Pimp C. The hotel incident, the constant subliminals, the paranoia that came with watching your name get pulled into beefs across the South, it all left him raw. He was still making music, still keeping UGK alive, but his personal life was spiraling. And then came the case that changed everything. In 2002, Pimp was sentenced to 8 years for aggravated assault. It stemmed from an altercation where a gun was allegedly involved, the kind of situation that wasn't uncommon in his orbit, but had finally caught up with him. The moment the sentence came down, it felt like a gut punch, not just to UGK, but to the South as a whole. He was a cornerstone of Texas rap, the voice that had demanded respect for country rap tunes, and suddenly he was gone. Bun B launched the now infamous Free Pimp C campaign almost immediately. Mixtapes, t-shirts, stage shoutouts, it became a rallying cry across the culture. Artists from Houston to New York showed support, but even with the love, the reality inside was harsh. Pimp didn't do his time in protective custody. He refused. As he later explained, he couldn't stand the thought of sitting in solitary, cut off from everything. So he stayed in general population, moving through different Texas units.
They wasn't really concerned about me or my well-being. They were just trying to cover their in case something went down and I got hurt.
In prison, he became the kind of folk hero, respected by other inmates, looked up to as proof that someone from their world could make it and still keep it real. But the walls didn't dull his paranoia. If anything, they made it worse. He talked openly after his release about how guards targeted him, how being locked in Texas meant constantly running into people who either hated him for who he was or wanted something from him. On one hand, he was writing songs, meeting younger artists, staying creative. On the other, he was stewing, turning over in his head all the wrongs done to him, all the people he felt had crossed lines. And the beef with Master P was never far from his mind. Even behind bars, the story of that...
Yeah, because behind bars, you can still get to you, and they in the South, so, it's always tricky, especially put some money on the books to somebody who ain't got it, they'll crash all the way out.
Hotel room followed him. To Pimp, it was unfinished business. To his people on the outside, it was fuel for whispers. Stories spread about violent encounters between UGK affiliates and No Limit associates, run-ins at clubs, crews eyeing each other at shows. Nothing ever turned into an open war, but the tension was real. And with Pimp locked up, every rumor hit harder, feeding his distrust. He didn't know who was plotting, who was protecting him, or who might be waiting when he got out. The scariest moment came when word got around that someone in Master P's circle had actually called Houston asking for permission to take him off the board completely. In the South, nothing that serious could move without approval, and in Houston, all roads led to James Prince. Jay Prince was the quiet power of Rap-A-Lot, a man whose name carried more weight than most rappers could dream of. If someone wanted to greenlight a hit in Texas, they had to clear it with him.
This is how Ricos get started. If somebody wants to clear a hit in Texas, you have to talk to Jay Prince. These are the type of things that if you put them on the internet and the government sees it, that you'll get a federal RICO. That is literally the things that RICOs are made of.
According to people close to Pimp, the call was made. Someone from P's side asked for the go-ahead to kill him. Prince shut it down instantly.
The dude came to Jay Prince to get permission to kill Chad, right? Damn. And Jay Prince like, no. We got a lot of money on the line. This is my guy. And they gaffled him up.
But even though Prince's word kept the situation from exploding, the fact that the call had even been made stuck with Pimp C. It confirmed everything he already felt, that he was surrounded by enemies, that people he'd worked with wanted him gone. To him, the Master P beef was part of that bigger picture. He saw it as more than just a personal clash. It was proof of how dangerous the industry could be if you weren't careful. The years inside took a toll. He admitted later that it drained him financially, that even with people like Bun B and Jay-Z looking out, being gone meant watching money fly out faster than it came in. He admitted it made him angrier, more suspicious, less willing to trust anyone, but he also said it gave him clarity. When he walked out in December 2000,
No, I can imagine after that your nerves would be shot. After that, you're not thinking about nobody else. Like, bro, I don't have no homies. I ain't really trusting nobody. I'm not, because it's like anybody can let you down, or anybody can set you up. You feel me? If they're not gonna set you down, if they're not gonna set you up, they're in a position to for sure let you down. Like how did niggas even get up on me like this? You feel me? It just make you not trust nobody. You gotta, at that point, you really understand what it takes to put your own life in your own hands.
2005, finally free after 3 years locked away, he carried both things with him, the scars and the perspective. And that's why one of the first things he did was try to close the book on old beefs. In later interviews, Master P himself said that Pimp C approached him with an apology. "Big dog, I apologize to you." He remembered Pimp saying, "That was my bad, I was on drugs." It was blunt, almost sad in its honesty. The same paranoia, the same impulsive anger that had pushed the beef to its ugliest moments had been fueled by substances, by stress, by the weight of too much too fast. Mama West confirmed it. She said Master P was one of the very first people to call her son when he came home. They talked, they let it go. The two even spoke about working together again, about finding some kind of full circle from how it all began. But even in that reconciliation, he could still feel the shadow of what happened. Pimp C had spent years...
Well, after that, you can never... If you ever do that to a nigga, you can never trust him again, because you just never know when that night might just trigger, and he might just nut the fuck up and be like, "Man, I'm tripping on your ass." Like, hell no, I'm not finna go for this. Like, I never forget how you niggas tied me up or held me down and pissed with me and all that kind of stuff, gave me a concussion. Man, hell no, everybody ain't going for that. And do you really want to trust the fact that somebody is going to forgive you for doing that to him?
Believing that someone wanted him dead. He had been locked away while rumors and plots swirled, and that leaves marks you can't fully erase. The downward spiral had nearly consumed him. Jail time, paranoia, rumors of hits, the constant weight of distrust, it all pushed him to the edge. But when he came home, he at least tried to build something new, to move forward. The scars of the beef with Master P never completely faded, but they were finally put to rest. The tragedy was that by then, he didn't have much time left to enjoy the peace. Tragically, Pimp C passed away just 2 years later on December 4th, 2007. Mama West would pass away years after that. Out of respect, Master P rarely speaks on the incident today, stating he doesn't want to talk about it when Pimp C and his mother are no longer here to tell their side of the story.
Now, that's respectable. That's respectable. But we up out here to the next one, man. Y'all know the deal. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. That was pretty deep. Free Avenue until he's free. We are gone.
How many shots to the center of a freak, nigga? 3 in his ass, lick his stomach, smell his pink, nigga. They throwing shots, time to see if them pussy niggas can take it. The nigga whack is a snitch and the jolly niggas are rapists. See, Lush was on to something, tried to act like it was nothing. Said you ain't know that freaky ass taker you was frontin'. Munchie ain't fucking with you and Spider-Loc ain't gon' save you. If you want it, you gon' take it. Stop the freaky ass behaviors. Let's get straight to the point, see, we ain't gotta wait for later. Nigga with your last name kidnapped that girl before he raped her. Said the moms of gang members don't deserve no piece of prayers. When General Butt naked, the kid Tesher is your savior. You ain't gotta stall me out, cause I ain't asking for no favors. Get it cracking right now, we ain't gotta wait for later. Walked into your own building, heard my voice and then you ducked away. Was humble like a bitch, cause you a hoe, stay in your fucking place. That nigga whack and slut and pathetic Flacco's a fucking lame. Whack ain't come outside because he hiding from his fucking gang. Talking like you tough when niggas spitting in your fucking face. T-Row didn't quit, we wouldn't even know your fucking name. Whack in front of Adam, but Adam is how he do you. See, Flacco lied on me and then Whack told me to sue you. Treated Whack like a bitch, you should've seen it, it was beautiful. Now every single week that nigga jolly on my pupil. Is it Fred or is it Frederick? Is it Dave or is it David? All thighs on me. Flock a belly, now you famous. Type of creep nigga is you. How are you and Dave related? Nigga, no means no. You should've told him not to take it. I'm really in the field, you niggas stuck inside the matrix. From BET to the Knicks, down in Compton where your face is. That nigga real jolly got some freaky ass cases. Tryna fake fight Lush cause Adam wanted you to face. You wanna be like academics, making videos like point and shoot. You and Dave the same ass lane. We know the fucking truth. Brick ain't say this shit is a play, cause he don't fuck with you. He not gonna get involved when them real shooters come for you. If you grew up in the land, them thirsties, they would've humbled you. Grew up with them lions, I promise they would've hunted you. I get disrespectful, the next time I'ma punish you. You dirty fat bitch, I swear to God, I see the bum in you. Niggas say they shooters till it's time to bring them guns out. Loose can't read and Whack lost his wife to Clubhouse. Treat Whack like a bitch, mark him out before he snitch again. Block him when I see you, I'ma show you the type of bitch you is. Niggas say they see me, they pullin' blick out. I promise that this Glock can make you sit down. Drum with a cooler, one for you, one for your brother. Wrap the string around the mop, sound like your dumbass when you stutter. Swear to God, nigga.
Hear me out though, right? Wait, bro, wait. Again, wait though. Just right though, right? Wait though, right? I do want to